mobile gaming industry is known to rake in enormous amounts of cash with its microtransactions-driven progression systems and simple games that play psychological tricks to keep you hooked. And while that has inadvertently led to a bit of infamy for this section of gaming, the last few years have given us some great titles that are worth sinking your teeth into. Right from the gacha classics to battle royales to fun family games, the mobile game industry has been evolving at a rapid pace with quality games coming out left, right, and center. We already have games like Death Stranding Director's Cut releasing for iPhone 15 Pro, and the future holds great potential thanks to some really great games set to release on mobile platforms. One such game is More Fun Studios' project, The Outcast, which has set the internet ablaze with tons of hype and anticipation for its fast-paced action and quality visuals. With this feature, we'll be taking a detailed look at this game and try to understand why it could turn out to be a really important title for the mobile gaming industry. Coming back to the game itself, Project The Outcast is an upcoming brawler based on the popular Hitori No Shita. Set against the backdrop of a small town, the series revolves around the protagonist Cho Soran getting embroiled, which has him facing all sorts of fierce enemies and demonic abominations capable of casting spells and dark magic. Of course, that's a very surface-level plot description of what actually goes on in the show, but Hitori No Shita is known for seamlessly switching between jaw-dropping action and ominous horror segments to create a slow-burn plot that's just hard to put down. Translating those aspects to a game is obviously a pretty tough endeavor, but the developer seems to have done a great job of doing that with absolute grace. At first glance, it might even be hard to believe that this is in fact a mobile game, given the high production values, but that also stands as a testament to the quality of this product. Everything from the lighting to the animations and character models looks like something you would expect from a late 8th gen game, or even a 9th gen game, though the developer might be using some sort of technical trickery to get that level of detail on mobile platforms. For instance, the actual levels where the encounters take place are pretty small in square footing, so that might help in keeping the rendering budget small. Furthermore, having the majority of lights static may also mean that the developer is free to use baked lighting data to save up on precious processing power. And in a similar vein, the character models are also based on their Donghua counterparts, so the poly counts for those models can also be much lesser, while still looking amazing for a mobile platform. Of course, we have no way of knowing whether the final product will look exactly like the trailers or not, but it all looks pretty amazing at the moment. Having such a strong visual presentation also helps in creating some amazing-looking horror scenes. Take, for example, the first trailer where the protagonist tiptoes his way through a corridor after a mysterious figure appears on his door and vanishes away the very moment he opens it. The flickering lights of the exit sign symbolize that something's about to go down, and the absence of any sound in that sequence helps in believably selling that element of horror. Of course, that's just one part of the game. And what makes Project The Outcast truly shine is the combat. Like the show it directly draws the material from, The Outcast is all about dishing out large amounts of damage through a wide array of martial arts moves. It obviously looks amazing with smooth animations that blend into one another, and the reason behind that level of quality is that the developer has captured the motion data of real martial arts performances and mapped that animation data into the game. In addition to a wide array of hand-to-hand moves, the player character can also use supernatural powers from elements like ice and fire, which can be unleashed after filling a special meter done by landing normal hits. The combat looks pretty brutal from what we've seen in the trailer, but players need to be really mindful of picking out the perfect opening for aggressive plays and backing down when the enemy is getting too aggressive. While the trailer didn't show anything about how progression would work, the most likely assumption is that players will be accruing some form of currency with each victory, and that could be cashed in to buy new special moves and upgrade your character's stats. Having the option to work towards different kinds of builds is also something that sounds like a really interesting concept, and hopefully Project The Outcast implements that system too. All in all, there's a beautiful complexity to these combat mechanics, and that, combined with the smooth animations, makes every scene look like a masterfully choreographed sequence out of an action movie. And talking about action movies, the game will also feature a Bruce Lee cameo, and we're really stoked to see more on that front. The fights showcased in the trailers are exclusively boss fights, so it's quite possible that we might get a game like Fury, where you keep on facing one boss after another with occasional breather segments to break those high-intensity moments. Of course, we might get encounters with a group of enemies as well, but that's more of an assumption than a concrete piece of information. Finally, coming to the release side of things, Project The Outcast doesn't have a confirmed release window for the time being. We do know that it will be coming out for both Android and iOS platforms, but when it will continues to be a mystery, both judging from what we know about the game and how far it is in development. A 2025 release window seems like a pretty accurate guess, though fans should keep their expectations in check. As for potential console ports, it's possible that the developer might have plans to bring it to more platforms if the initial release manages to surpass expectations. In conclusion, Project The Outcast looks like a great brawler, with quality combat mechanics and solid visual presentation. And if the developer can stitch those elements together in an engaging story without resorting to microtransactions, the game has a ton of potential to showcase that mobile games can also compete with AAA console games, and not just be machines for absorbing copious amounts of money from gullible consumers. And with that, we reached the end of the video. Have anything to say? Let us know in the comments below. Also, we upload new videos every single day on GamingBolt, so please consider subscribing as it really helps us out. Thanks for watching.